Hello everyone and welcome to this latest tutorial. This tutorial is like a Soviet style, an old school Soviet style poster. I saw a couple of them like this in the World Cup in 2018 last year. Okay, and it's inspired me to make this today. So we've got Son Heung-min, is the South Korean Tottenham Hotspur player. Obviously Tottenham Hotspur in the semi-final of the Champions League, so I thought I'd go with the Tottenham Hotspur player this time. And yeah, it's just a style that I like. Obviously, we've got our picture of Son, and then we've got these like sun ray burst coming out. Okay, and we've just got a few little tips and tricks how to make this. So without further ado, I'll get straight into it. Okay, so I've got a new document. Now I'm just using like a phone screen background, so I'm just using my iPhone background sizes, so feel free to use whatever canvas size you want. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fill it with a light blue colour, and the colour I've gone for the background is 7BA9C2. 7BA9C2, and I'm going to hit OK. So then we can see here it's our foreground colour. Okay, so now I'm working on a Mac, so I'm going to hold Alt and Backspace, and it's going to fill it. If I'm speaking too fast, okay, while you're watching this on YouTube, if you press K it'll pause, J will jump back 10-15 seconds, and L will jump forward 10-15 seconds. A little top tip before I carry on. Anyway, I digress. So next I'm going to drop in this picture of Son, okay, and I got this from footyrenders.com. I'll link it down below, but it's a website that creates loads of different football renders of different players, and it just saves a ton of time with that pen tool. So thank you to those guys. Now we've got our transform box highlighted. I'm going to go to the corner, I'm going to hold Shift and Alt, okay, and it's just going to close down in proportion. And I'm just going to drop it down the bottom. And I'm going to size it up. Let me just compare it to the last one. The last one was a little bit smaller. Press Command T again. I'm just going to make it a fraction smaller. There we go. So that way we can have some text just above. Let me just compare. Yeah, it's looking okay. Okay, so what we're going to do with Son, okay, we're going to mix it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate him. So I'm going to, while this layer's there, I can either press Command J, okay, or I can just drop and drag him onto this new layer icon down the bottom next to the trash can. Make sure you've got the top layer highlighted. I'm going to press Command I to invert it. Okay, so he's looking a little bit crazy there. I'm going to change the blend mode to vivid light. So again, still looking a bit crazy at this point. Okay, I'm going to go to filter at the top, and go to other, and I'm going to go to high pass. And I'm going to bring him round to about 7 pixels. Okay, what you want to try and do is bring it down so it's kind of it looks something similar to how I've got it here. Okay, for some reason different Photoshop versions. I was trying it on a different computer the other day, and different versions it changes. But you want this kind of this blurred image there, and I'm going to hit OK. So it's still looking pretty bad at the minute. Then I'm going to go to the top again. I'm going to click Filter, Blur. I'm going to go to Gaussian Blur. Okay, and again, it's going to be roughly around 3 or 4 pixels. I think 4 was the one I used before. It looks okay. Now again, what we're doing now is we're smoothing out his skin so it's nice and soft. However, the problem with that is all the key features like his eyes and hair, they've all been blurred. So with that, all I'm going to do is going to create a mask down the bottom. And I'm going to press Command Backspace to fill it. You see when I've disabled it, okay, it goes back to blurry. So now I've got a nice black layer mask. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to go to my brush tool. Okay, you can have the flow and the opacity up at 100. Make sure you got all the white selected. Okay, and I'm just going to paint over the nice soft areas. And what's this doing is it's just softening out his skin. I'm just going to do roughly around this skin area. Okay, and it's just adding a little feature. Okay, it's not important that we do this, but I like it. I want to get the collar in there as well. Okay, different sizes of the brush. Okay, and if I disable the layer mask, you see it's gone back to blurry. Okay, enable it. Okay, and it keeps his skin features nice and soft. Okay, again, you can do it with the hands as well. Just make it nice and soft. It's entirely up to you. And I'm just going to do a few key areas. Nothing too drastic, because a lot of this is going to be covered by the shape anyway. So with this then, take your time, okay, make it look nice, but for the meantime, I'm going to carry on. Okay, and I'm also going to clip it to the original son as well. There we go. So we've just softened his skin up a fraction. Okay, I'm going to go down and add an adjustment layer. Okay, and I'm going to click on hue and saturation, and I'm just going to give him some warmth. Okay, and I'm going to drag it up to 18 or 20. So I've got it on 18 there, and I'm just going to clip that as well to son. So with this clipping mask, all it's doing is directly affecting the layer below, and we are good to go. Okay, the next bit then, I'm going to create a new layer. Okay, it can be pretty tricky now, so make sure you follow along. So I've created a new layer. I'm going to go to my pen tool. Okay, and I'm just going to adjust this colour before I start. And it's the colour I used before, but the colour, just so you're aware, is 3A6176. Okay, it's this darkish blue colour. Okay, what I'm going to do is, so I want the light beams, or whatever you want to call them. Okay, I want them sticking out. So I'm going to pick the furthest point away. So I'm going to click on the logo there, on the Spurs crest. It's going to be the furthest point away, because we're going to sweep them round. This will all make sense in a minute. And I'm just going to pick somewhere up there, and I'm just going to pick something like that. Okay, so you can see we've got a this starburst effect. Okay, I'm just going to click on my move tool and just click anywhere, just so it comes off it. So make sure you got your shape highlighted. Click your shape and click Command T. Oh, there we go, Command T. If something pops up, just click OK and try it again. Okay, so we've got our transform box up now. Okay, and this in this middle bit, okay, it's called the registration point, and what we're going to do is we're going to drag it down to the corner onto the logo. Okay, I'm going to come up to the top, and in this box up here, okay, I'm going to type in 20 degrees. Okay, and I'm going to hit enter twice. Okay, this is where I hope it's going to work first time. Okay, I'm working on my Mac, but you can press either Control, Alt, Shift and T, or Command, Alt and Shift and T. Make sure they're all held down. Command, Alt, Shift, and then T, 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 all the way around. Make sure you're holding Command, Alt and Shift and tap T till you fill out your sunburst ray effect. I'm so happy that worked first time. Happy days. Okay, so all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to merge all these layers. So I've got this this last layer that I did. Okay, I'm going to come down, I'm going to hold Shift and Shape 1. So now all these shapes are highlighted. I'm going to make these into one big layer. So I'm going to double click or right click, and is it merge layers or merge shapes? We'll go with merge shapes. Yeah, there we go. So there we go. It's just one big shape. So brilliant. We're on our way. Okay, so now obviously we want Son to be popping out, and we want the logo to be nice and visible. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. I'm I'm going to go to my ellipse tool over here. Okay, I'm going to make sure I've got path selected up here. Okay, I'm going to hold shift so it creates a perfect circle. I'm going to hold shift and just drag down for a perfect circle. Now if you don't hold shift, it won't be correcting all proportions. And I'm going to press Command T, and I'm just, so we see we've got this registration point, okay, and I'm just going to put it in the middle of the Spurs logo. I'm going to make sure I've got his hand in as well. Okay, and it's up to you now how big you would like your circle from the logo. Now hold shift and Alt, give it smaller or bigger, and I think it was okay as it was. Okay, so still make sure you got your ellipse tool selected. Okay, we can see the path there. Okay, I'm going to click Selection, Feather Radius 0, Anti-Aliased, New Selection, etc. I'm going to click OK, and then you should see the like the black and white ants, I like to call them, circling round. Okay, I'm going to press Command Shift I just to invert that. Okay, so now you see the black ants have come round the outside of the image. Okay, I'm going to go down to the bottom, and I'm going to apply a layer mask, and it's going to pop out like so. Happy days. And press Command 0. So now what we need to do is we need to get Son's head. So I'm still going to make sure I've got this little window selected over here on the colour. Okay, and all I'm going to do, black and white, go to my brush tool. Okay, I'm going to want a hard brush for this. Okay, and you're just going to paint away the bits you don't want. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going over a little bit over the shirt, and I will tell you why in a sec, and I will speed this up and come back to you. Okay, just sped it up there a little bit, and okay, so what I was getting at there is, okay, just go over a little bit so you can see whereabouts you're painting, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to zoom in, I'm going to change these over so white is the foreground colour, okay, and I'm just going to paint back in my shapes, just so it's a little bit easier. So I'm going to do that now, and then I will get back to you. Okay, so at the minute then we've got Son. We've popped his head out. Okay, all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do the same but with the arm. Again, just being careful. Okay, it's up to you, whichever player you're using. Okay, be as careful as you want, basically. But again, attention to detail is always great. So I'll get back to you again and I'll speed it up. There we go. There we've got Son's arms popped out. Okay, what I'm going to do now as well is I'm just going to go back to this layer, to the bottom layer, to Son. Okay, I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to make sure I've got black and white over here. Okay, I'm going to drop my flow right down to around 1%. Okay, and I'm just going to add a little bit of shading. I'm going to select a soft brush tool. Okay, nothing too drastic. And I'm just going to shade in a little bit of the arms. Okay, just going to paint in a little bit. Okay, obviously just being careful not to go onto his body. Again, it's up to you how much you'd like to do. Okay, you can do the arms. Prominent creases as well. And things like under his chin, on these shadows around his neck. Okay, just enhances it a little bit. But again, I'm not going to go too crazy. I'm going to hit X. I'm going to make sure I've got white selected there. Okay, I'm going to just make it a little bit bigger, and I'm just going to paint just fraction over his head, a few little highlights on the shoulders, and probably along the top of his arms there, and his hands. And I'm just going to go back to this bit because I didn't quite notice his hands there, so bear with me 1 second. Go to my hard brush. See, it's always good to just double check your work. There we go, it's better. Yeah, it looks a lot better. Okay, yeah, so just adding a little bit of shadows there. You can see it prominently on his arm if I clip it and take it away. Okay, okay. Next thing, I've got this this old paper texture. Okay, I'll hopefully try and find that and link it in. Okay, as you drop it in, make sure you got the top level highlighted. Okay, so it comes out on top. I'm going to hold Shift and Alt. Okay, it's just going to grow it just a little bit above. And I'm going to make sure it's on overlay. Okay, so it's gone to this horrible bright colour, however, all will be better. Okay, I'm going to go to adjustment layer, hue, saturation, and I'm going to minus 100, but I'm going to make sure it's a clipping mask. So again, just changing the colour a little bit, and then this lightness, I'm going to drop down to around 40, minus 40. And then you can see the huge difference we've made there. Then I'm going to go to another adjustment layer. I'm going to go to black and white. Okay, and I'm going to make sure it is on hard light. Okay, all these are doing is so when you're doing these adjustment layers, they're just affecting the pixels underneath, and then the opacity drop to 25%. There we go, and you can see we're back on to how we were before. And I'm just got a little curves adjustment layer. Okay, I'm just going to drop the middle a little bit, play around with the shadows and highlights. There we go. Again, totally optional for yourselves. Yeah, and we're pretty good. And then I'm going to go make sure I've got this top level selected. Okay, I'm going to hit T for text. Okay, and the font I'm using is called Kremlin. Again, I'll try and find, I'll link it below, but you can find it on any free font website. Okay, I'm going to type in Son's name. Son. Make sure I'm spelling his name correctly. Yeah, there we go. And got a few different Son Heung-min. For some reason, this Kremlin text is not the same as before. Okay, I don't know why that is. I'm just going to get rid of that. 1 second. I'm going to change the font. I'll change it to American Typewriter or something. Son. I think I know why. Go to Kremlin. There we go. It's because I add a capital letter. Son Heung-min. There we go. That's better. And I've got it on 50 points. Okay. And the colour, I'm just going to change to black. In fact, make sure we've got it highlighted. Click on black. Okay. All I'm going to do is double click there and gradient overlay. Okay. Make sure you got your gradient on black and white. Okay, just there. Click OK. And you'll be able to see over in this preview box, I've got the opacity dropped right down, okay, and if I change it around, you'll see how it's changed, and all I'm just doing is just giving it a little bit of extra panache. Make sure you've got the radial, okay, and you can drag it around. You can see on the text there how it's changing. Get it roughly in the middle. Okay, this is roughly where it's happening on the screen. Okay, and again, it's just giving it a little bit of extra panache. I'm going to press Command T. I'm just going to orientate it, and it looks good to me. And I'm just going to drag it below the old paper layer so it all blends in. Command T again. Just going to nudge it across, and there you go. There is our Soviet style sports poster with Son Heung-min. Really hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give me a like and a subscribe, really appreciate it. I've noticed a few people starting to comment now on my YouTube tutorials saying they're enjoying it, and I really appreciate it. It really motivates me. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, happy days. I've achieved my aim. Thanks for watching.